is heading back again. Rams win it, and on to Super Bowl 53 they go.
Can the Rams really get through to Tom Brady? My name is Mike Petraglia, joined outside at Mercedes-Benz Stadium by Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. You talked to a couple of Rams players, coaches. Yeah. Give us an idea, Evan, what they're thinking.
With Wade Phillips.
Give us an idea what they're thinking in terms of whether or not you think they can get through to Tom Brady.
Well, the biggest takeaway for me is that when you hear Aaron Donald say, we know as a front four that we're not going to get home to Tom Brady very often, and the biggest thing is that we just can't get frustrated by it, and they're really relying heavily on the secondary to cover the Patriots receivers and force Tom Brady into holding the ball to give them some opportunities to get home. I think the biggest thing that Wade Phillips and Donald both said was that this Patriots offensive line doesn't just let a random guy through, right? There's not hardly ever a guy that goes unblocked through the line. So therefore, you need to beat the guy in front of you. It's going to be hat on hat, so you got to throw a pass rush move, you got to win in your one-on-one, and they know that by the time they win their one-on-one, the ball's going to be out already. Right. So they're relying heavily on Akeem Talib and Marcus Peters and Nickel Roby-Coleman to kind of hold up in the secondary for long enough to let Donald, Sue, Fowler, Brockers get home.
So I want to stop you there. You're saying that the Patriots don't let anybody through.
Yeah.
But they could also trap Aaron Donald and let him get upfield, and then there could be draw plays, there could be quick hitters, there could be misdirection to really counter the aggressiveness of Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I think that that's a good strategy. And the other thing that they said was that they knew the Patriots are going to run the football. They know that the Patriots want to run the football. They want to be the more physical team, so they're going to try to be the more physical team. And I think that maybe if they use that strategy, to your point, some of that aggressiveness of trying to come off the ball and trying to be the lower man and trying to win those battles will kind of backfire with some draw plays, with some screens, with some traps, that type of stuff.
Brockers and obviously Dante Fowler.
Yeah.
These are two guys that we obviously need to spend a good deal of time on, because a lot of talk early in the week has been all Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, and for good reason. But talk about those two guys, Alex, and how the Patriots can really account for them in the pass rush.
Well, they've had to face some tough edge rushers in this playoffs. The interior, that's another story with Donald, but you go back to before the Chargers game, right, with Ingram and Bosa. Remember, we were talking about how Marcus Cannon, Trent Brown didn't have the strongest finish to the regular season. We were worried what it was going to look like on the edge. Those two guys have really ramped it up in the playoffs. Both games, they've been excellent. If you can somehow, and it's a little more complicated, and Evan, maybe you can bail me out here, but if you can replicate what you did on the outside with Ingram and Bosa, with Ford, etc. in Kansas City, and not sacrifice too much on the inside with Donald, that should help. But for me, the big thing is that both Trent Brown and Marcus Cannon continue this mean streak they've been on throughout the playoffs.
Right, so the Rams play a 34 defense, right? It's an old school 34 defense. Think when the Patriots had Willie McGinnis and Richard Seymour there playing the same front. And Michael Brockers is the strong side defensive end. He's going to be right over the tackle, and his job is really to win with power and leverage and pad level and just hold the point of attack. He's the one guy that doesn't really win with get off and getting up the field. Fowler is on the opposite side. He's the weak side linebacker. He's the Von Miller, if you will, in this defense. And he's the guy that's going to get a ton of one-on-one matchups against Marcus Cannon, just rushing the passer clean. And he's really a designated pass rusher. His role is just to get off the ball and get around the edge, a little bit like D. Ford was for the Chiefs. So I think that Fowler is the guy that I'm looking at, because really all the attention is going to go the other way, because Brockers is going to be on the strong side next to Donald or Sue, and then they're going to have really one-on-ones on the right side or the left side of the line by themselves with Fowler, and he's the type of guy that can really make you pay. Just ask Drew Brees in that overtime when he forced the interception with a quarterback hit. So I'm really looking for what can the Patriots do one-on-one against Fowler. Do they send James White out of the backfield and chip him? Do they chip him with Dwayne Allen or Rob Gronkowski? Is James Devlin kind of tasked with just hitting whoever gets through first, right? Kind of just standing there in the middle in front of Brady and being almost like a personal protector. That might be another strategy.
This Patriots Super Bowl report from downtown Atlanta brought to you by betonline.ag. Go to clnsmedia.com/win and use the promo code CLNS50 for a 50% sign-up bonus. All right, there are three games that come to mind when I think of the New England Patriots and giving Tom Brady trouble. Two are the Super Bowls. Super Bowls 42 and 46 against the Giants, the NASCAR fronts and all of that. And the 2015 AFC Championship, in which Wade Phillips was the defensive coordinator of that Bronco defense. Of those 3 games, Evan, which do you think really could mirror what we see on Sunday?
2011 Super Bowl, the second time around against the Giants. This team does not have the defense of the 2015 Broncos had. They don't have Chris Harris. They don't have prime Aqib Talib in the secondary.
Right.
They don't have that kind of look. So I wouldn't go there and say that this team is the no-fly zone like Denver was. It just isn't that good of a defense. But
secondary.
But that 2011 Giants team had a weak secondary, really a weak defense for most of the season, and they really turned it on in the playoffs. That defense was not very good. The Patriots defense wasn't very good either that year, but the Giants offense really carried them to that point. But in the Super Bowl, they were able to get after Tom Brady, and the secondary really was bailed out by a really good pass rush. I think there was opportunities for Brady to make down the field, and he just didn't really have as much time as they would have liked.
Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I go to 2015. In terms of how the Patriots will attack it, just to kind of give a different perspective, I know they said they haven't watched much of Wade Phillips in Denver in 2015, but I have to believe they're going back and looking at it a little bit in terms of tendencies when they're blitzing.
Take away the crossing routes is what I'm expecting.
Exactly. It's limiting parts of the field. That's what Wade Phillips has always done to the Patriots. So, and I've said this throughout the week on a number of occasions, and I know I sound like a broken record, but it's the most important thing in football, and it's the reason Bill Belichick gets back here year after year after year. You have to identify where you're struggling, you have to identify the adjustments to make, and then you have to be able to actually carry out those adjustments. The Patriots coaches in this game, and Tom Brady, have to be able to think on their feet. They have to be able to think and react very quickly.
Another great Wade Phillips against Bill Belichick and Brian Flores chess match set up for Super Bowl Sunday here in downtown Atlanta. Follow us on our YouTube channel at CLNSmedia.com, of course, and on Twitter at Patriots CLNS. Outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, for Evan Lazar and Alex Barth, Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.